Hello class, how we doing today? What's up, what's up? Let me know who's in the house here. It's an odd time, it's the middle of the day right now. If you're on the west coast, it's like almost 2 o'clock. East coast, it's like almost 5, so I'm sure everyone's probably driving home from work, or you're leaving work soon, or we'll see. We'll see who's in the house here. Oh, what's up, Jesus? How are you? How's everything going? Let's see. Just we got 6 people in the house. Okay, cool. So guys, I just want to make a quick video. I've been learning some new information on this Plastiq thing. Now, in the past, a lot of people have commented before on whether or not Plastiq is a good option to use for velocity banking. And for the most part, it's always been a no for me when I go to answer that question. Whether velocity banking can be applied with Plastiq. Now, for people that do not know what Plastiq is, it is a tool, a company that allows you to take your credit card and use your credit card to pay for an expense that you normally couldn't run through a credit card, such as a car payment, a mortgage payment, student loan payment, a credit card payment to another credit card, right? Now, the fee for that is, I believe it's 2.5% per transaction, per charge, every single time, right? Now, from first glance, and this is what I always thought of it, I'm like, why would I ever do that? If I get a line of credit, I can pay much less, right? And their whole idea, they'll even say it on the website, is you wanna have a credit card that has like a cashback rewards to somewhat offset the cost of that transaction. It's not gonna fully offset it, but I would say that it does help, okay? Now, what we're gonna go over in this video is some ground rules for me to say yes to Plastiq, and then when to say no to Plastiq, okay? So right off the bat, if you are a client, whether you're on Patreon, you're a lifetime supporter, we did like a coaching session together, or I've done a scenario for you in the past, right? This really doesn't apply to you, because for the most part, most of my clients already have their debt tool, which is a line of credit, a HELOC, or a credit card, and we're working our way up to the line of credit or the HELOC, all right? For most of us, it's not going to apply. What this would apply for is someone that maybe is not a client, and or you're brand new to velocity banking and your credit is not good, okay? You don't have good credit, or you did not get approved for that line of credit or that HELOC, okay? So what I wrote down so far is for me to say yes to Plastiq, okay? If you're someone that you've been looking at it, you're like, could I use this and do velocity banking? Maybe, maybe not. And by the way, I'll be doing a video. I actually have the scenario on the board right there, which I'll be going over velocity banking with Plastiq. So I am going to run a scenario and show you guys exactly when it works. But I just thought I should make a quick video, go live for you guys, and just kind of write out my criteria here, which is you must have cash flow, number one. Number two, you want to have a credit card that does have cash rewards, and most do, which is like anywhere from like 1 to 3% cash back. Okay, so you're gonna need a credit card, and you're gonna want to have cash rewards on that credit card. And third, which would make this even better, is if the credit card came with a 0% offer, right? Like an introductory period for 12 months, 6 months, 15 months, or even as long as 24 months, okay? And that credit card must be a credit card that you can use anywhere, not a store card, okay? You want to be able to use that credit card anywhere, you know, like an American Express or like a Capital One card or Discover, Bank of America, Citi, right? Any major credit card that you can use anywhere, which is going to be good for you to do. And the other thing is that you want that credit card for the cash rewards to not have a cap, okay? You don't want it to have a cap as to how much you can get in cashback rewards, whether it's per month or annual. I know there's some cards that have a, what is it, like a cap. Like, you know, you can only, after spending X, you're no longer going to get cashback rewards. So if there is a cap, you want to look at it, okay, and pay attention to that, because that would affect your numbers long term, especially if, you know, for example, you're taking a 15, or let's see what Jesus says, a Chase Freedom, a limited 3% cash back up to 20,000. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's a good number there. Let's say that Chase Freedom card had a credit limit of like, I don't know, like 10, 15, or 20,000 or something like that. Or maybe it was a small one, right? Because this is, you know, for someone that maybe doesn't have a whole lot of good credit. Maybe it's only like a $5,000 credit card. Typically, the smaller the credit limit, we're probably not going to have a big, you know, spending space for that cash rewards. I don't know if that's true or not, but like I said, you're definitely going to want to read those terms and agreements and, you know, all that fine print so we can figure it out. Hello to Cobra and hello Jasper. How are you? How are things going for you today? So, just recap. Must have cash flow, must be a credit card with cash rewards and a 0% offer, and you want to have like a large cap or no cap in terms of how much money I can spend through that card, right? And another thing is this is a temporary method, not a permanent strategy, okay? So it's a temporary little fix with using Plastiq. We're not out here going to be using Plastiq for the whole time period of velocity banking. This is literally, we're talking maybe the first year or less of doing velocity banking. I've got a scenario with a gentleman that has a credit card. I think it's like a 10 or 15K credit limit, I forgot. He's got 2% cash back rewards on the credit card. He has plenty of cash flow, and he has a 0% offer on the card. So what we did was we took a portion of the credit limit and we made a payment towards his car. He has a very high car payment, okay? And that would bring the balance of that car payment, that debt on the car that he owes, nearly 50% would be owed left or less, right? And now he's got the debt sitting on the credit card, okay? He's got the debt sitting on the credit card. It's at 0%. And since it ran through the credit card as a purchase, he's going to get 2% back on that chunk. Whether it was a 7K chunk or 8K, I forgot what it was. But whatever it is, he's going to get a 2% chunk, a 2% reward back to him. And he would have paid 2.5% to Plastiq. So his cost would have been like nothing. It would be better than a line of credit costs. Okay, this is factual right here. And moving forward, what we did was, now in terms of velocity banking to pay off that credit card, because he's got a like a 12-month 0% offer on here, right? So in that 12 months, we're not going to run all of his bills through that credit card. What we're going to do is we're going to look at all of his bills, and we're going to say, okay, of all of my expenses in a month, what can I pay with a credit card, right? So in this particular case, over 90% of his expenses can be paid with a credit card. This is really good. This is in our favor. So I would say another ground rule for this to work for the whole life of us using Plastiq, whether it's like a 6-month period or 1-year period, we want to make sure that we're able to use at least 50 to 75% minimal. I would say minimum 50. I would rather it be 75% or more of your bills normally, right? Your normal living expenses, right? Everything all combined can get paid with a credit card, right? So if that's not the case, even with all the other ground rules that I laid out, if majority of your bills cannot be paid with a credit card, right? Let's say that's a number upwards of $3,000 to $4,000. You can't pay with a credit card, that you have to use Plastiq. It won't make sense, because even though you got charged a very, very little fee to chunk out of the credit card to pay down a specific debt, or maybe even pay off a specific debt, and your cash flow went up, but now you've got to run damn near 50, 70% of your bills, you have to use Plastiq. So now you're saying 2.5%, 2.5%, 2.5% on each transaction that cannot be paid with a credit card, right? So in this case that I'm going over, this gentleman has the ability to run over 90% of his bills, I think, for the most part, with a credit card, so no fee. So really, what is he doing? He's only using Plastiq just for the chunk. And his cost to do so was like less than $30, right? For the whole life of us making the chunk and doing velocity banking on the credit card, bringing the credit card back to zero, chunking again, paying off the car, right? So we pay off his car within that 0% period on the credit card. So that's 12 months or less. Cash flow goes up. Our cost was minimal, damn near nothing. And we got cash back rewards the whole freaking time. And we pretty much offset our whole cost of borrowing using Plastiq. And that would be a yes. I'd be like, can't lie, when the numbers, when we laid out the numbers, I was like, oh man, okay, Plastiq worked in this person's situation. It was very specific. So I liked that. I was like, interesting, you know. But I would still say for majority of the time, Plastiq doesn't work for a lot of people. And like I said, if you're a client already, you got your line of credit, you got your HELOC, ignore this video. It's got nothing to do with you. You're already on track. You know, even in most cases, before we even use Plastiq, you know, we would look at just using a credit card as is, right? Obtaining a line of credit. If we can't get the line of credit, we can't get the credit card, maybe we look at the life insurance policy strategy. That doesn't make sense financially. You know, it's like a last resort is like Plastiq, okay? So I just wanted to kind of go over that with you guys and see if anyone has any questions about Plastiq, and if you think it'll be good for you or not. And you know, you guys can comment below after this video is done. Let me know your thoughts if you used Plastiq before to help you ignite velocity banking, get it going, right? Let's see. J&C NutriCare. Okay, you're in the UK, have 0% on BT or CT for over 12 months and 4.8%. Interesting. I don't know what the BT stands for or the CT, but I do know the MBNA. Okay, in the UK, I've got a couple of viewers that are going that route. They're using that specific credit union, and I think with them you're able to get get a secured card or secured line of credit, and they give you 3 times what you secured it with, and now you've got a nice little line of credit to work with to do velocity banking. So let's see. Sam says, I've been waiting for this video. Got my landlord in the hook to pay using Plastiq to use my money twice, so the fee is worth it to me. Can't wait for the scenario. Yeah, that's good. You know, it's temporary. All right, Sam. Like, I would not look at Plastiq as a permanent thing. You know, credit cards are for the most part like permanent. You'll never want to stop using them. They're always great. Line of credit is like a permanent use. A life insurance policy, that's a permanent use. Those debt tools really don't become obsolete until you are like, you know, you've 10x'd your income 10 times over, and you've got all this free cash flow, and you've got a massive policy, okay? And even then, you would just keep getting bigger credit lines and bigger, and you can do so many things with it. So I never want to stop using it. Let's see, Daniel, what's up? How are you? Fisher, hello. Yes, sometimes the turnaround time can be slow. It works. Do you have a promo code for using Plastiq? Waive the fee depending on the promo code you have. Okay, no. I myself, I don't even use Plastiq. I went to the website once and I closed it because it had no value to me. But to my viewers, could definitely have a bit of value. So maybe I'll just open an account and then put the link in the description for using Plastiq. But you know, I don't want to endorse Plastiq and say this is like the best thing since sliced bread, because it's not, right? It can be an actual trap, just like velocity banking. If velocity banking is not used properly, it's a trap. I mean, it is a straight up trap. Don't let this concept fool you. As much as I love velocity banking, trust me, I love it. It's helped my family. It's changed my life 10 times over, only because I know what I'm doing and I know how to use it properly. But here comes someone on my channel thinking they know velocity banking because they watch 3 videos. They watch 1 video of me and then another guy, and then they go to do it on their own and make a mistake, and now they're in the hole, because I've had people done that, and then they become clients after the fact, right? Then they got to pay someone to fix their mistake, and now they're even in deeper of a hole. You know, it's not good. So, you know, I would say Plastiq is like a very last resort move. It's, you know, tricky, but can work only for a temporary period of time. And then obviously I'm going to be like, okay, you know, 6 to 9 months from now, even if, like, you know, let's say for example, we're in June, you go and apply for a line of credit, you get denied. Okay, whatever. Now we got to work on building your credit, right? In 6 months, we're going to reapply again, like nothing. And most of the time, you'll get approved. You may not get a high limit, but you'll get approved, right? I mean, you just keep trying, you know? And using Plastiq in that time frame can help you, because it can help pay off some specific debts and get some revolving debts down a little bit, get your money right, get to that next level. Okay, let's see. Daniel, I was able to make the chunk payment with Plastiq. Took 1 day for them to process the payment, and the check was dropped in the mail and delivered by Friday. This was just to get the ball rolling while I applied for my HELOC due to the minimal cost and paid a vehicle off. This is a client, Senor Daniel, is literally, he'll be the situation on the board for us. And he was, you know, volunteered to, you know, show us his numbers, and he was, you know, open about it. So, you know, I can't wait to make a very, very specific, I'm going to really, really break it down and show you guys just exactly how we did that and how the numbers play out. And I'm going to show you exactly what his overall cost will be. And he's totally right. He's like, look, this is a temporary process. He's trying to apply for his HELOC. In the meantime, it really made sense. I mean, we're going to pay off his car like extremely fast. and get really, really high cash flow going on. And then we've got some other moves in the making along with this strategy that you guys are going to find really, really interesting. All right. So definitely tune in for that video. Let's see. Just want to let you guys know now that I've gone through that. So we know, can velocity banking, does Plastiq work for velocity banking? Yes and no. What are the criteria? Got to have that cash flow. Got to have a credit card with cash rewards, 0% offer, right? And you want to have majority of your normal living expenses be upwards of 75% or more, so that you don't have to pay the 2.5%. Okay? Let's see. Spotted. I've been able to pay off 1.5 cards since January using Plastiq. Cool. You know, it sounds good. You know, if the one card was a, yeah, I was just about to say, but it does take a lot more time. It does, you know. That's what it is until you get that line of credit, you know. So if it's, you know, when you're looking at from the overall picture, from January to June, you got almost 2 cards paid off, and you figure maybe next month or maybe even this month, let's go get a line of credit and let's change this whole game around, you know. Working towards that line of credit. Great, great, good stuff. Okay, and let's see. Before I have to go, I want to mention, I gotta say, a lot of you have been taking massive action in terms of us working together one-on-one. Today is the last day to enroll into the lifetime program, my Velocity Banking lifetime program. It's $9.97. It's on my website, denzelrodriguez.com. Okay, you click on the intensive tab and you can sign up today. This will be the last day for it. I've had a lot of people filling out contact forms, and I've been trying to get to everybody in a timely manner. But so far, over 60 people have signed up for the lifetime program. That was more than my original goal of 50. So I've already hit my goal of 50 people, but now we're over that by 10 plus people. So I am going to close the service, not going to take any more clients because I value customer service more than I do the amount of customers I have. So I want to make sure that I am, you know, really focused on these 60 plus people that I'm going to be going on a massive journey with, and really, really stay tuned because we're putting together some really cool things. Okay, I'm gonna copy what Bigger Pockets does. Bigger Pockets, I was going on their platform, and they've got a very, very interesting way of doing things. Like you can give information or strategies or ideas or resources in this massive community, right? So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start my own community for all my lifetime clients, and all of us are going to, you know, connect together, network, build relationships in each state, and we're going to form multiple velocity banking communities, because I know I wasn't expecting it to happen this fast, but I am going to get to a point where I just simply can't help the amount of people that are coming in, right? I know I'm going to get to that point, and at that point I'm going to have to, you know, well, before I get to that point, start hiring staff, start trying to duplicate myself. And I know I've got people in the community here that want to become like their own velocity banking instructor, facilitator, coach, right? You want to teach people in your neighborhood, and I think that is awesome. And I want to give you all the tools to monetize it, to capitalize on it, and to really help your community out in your area. And so, you know, when you join the lifetime program, we're going to be starting a master class at the end of this year. And by the way, I just had an appointment to look at some office space in my area. So I'm gonna have an office. I'm no longer gonna be in this room, in my bedroom, We're going to be doing videos, you know, all legit. I'll start wearing some nice, decent clothes. You know, for the most part, I've been casual this whole time with it. That's just my character, and that's just how I am. But if you want to keep stepping up your game, you're gonna have to display that image so people take you seriously. So, you know, no more T-shirts and whatnot. It's gonna be, you know, we're gonna be suited up. All right. So look forward to that. We're gonna be starting like I said, we're gonna get the community. We're gonna do the master class. Gonna be coaching people to branch this out. We gotta teach people, man. There's so much debt going on, so much people hurting. You know, I get so many messages. I'm like, oh man, and I want to help you, and I want to help you, and I want to help you. I want to help everyone. But you do have to value your time, you know. So, and I want you guys to value your time. And the best way to prove that is when you value other people's time. The way you value other people's time will reflect how you value your own time. So if you're willing to, you know, make an investment, work with me one-on-one, let's get this thing going. All right? Does anyone have any questions before I tune out? Because I'm gonna work on some more videos I've got in the background here. I got some more scenarios and some other calls. So I want to see if there's anyone of the 26 people in the house watching right now. If you're new, say hello. If you got a question, if you, you know, maybe you filled out a contact form and I didn't get to you yet. Any questions like that, bring it up. Or forever hold your peace. Okay? Jesus says, could you use a credit card and Plastiq to pay off a car faster? Having cash flow, of course. Yes, that is exactly what I went over just this whole video. So yes, in order to use Plastiq, you need to have a credit card. I'm assuming. I've never used Plastiq before, but according to what people say and what the website goes over is, the whole idea is, I mean, the only reason why you're going to Plastiq is if you're in a bind. You're in a bind, you know, or mathematically, it really made sense to use it. All right, because you didn't have a line of credit or a HELOC. Okay, so yes, the whole idea is you take a credit card, you take the credit limit from that credit card, you strip it out as a payment, like a cash payment, and that's your chunk towards a debt. And having cash flow and having expenses that we can pay with a credit card, along with the monthly payment that you would get, would help pay off the credit card within 6 months or less to make the very next chunk wipe out that car or that specific debt that we were after, okay? Sam says, working towards the personal line of credit right now, moving money around to help rebuild my credit. Smart. I'm cash flowing heavily, so this is just for now. Score tanked due to utilization. Got to get back into the 675, 700s. Yeah, when you're doing the velocity banking, oftentimes your credit score will drop dramatically. You'll be like, whoa, what the heck? But then the very next month, it jumps back up. You know, so when you're doing velocity banking, it's going to be doing this with your credit until you start. It's going to go up more than it goes down, is what I'm trying to say. So it'll go, you know, it'll go down when you make that first chunk, and then you start paying it back. Credit goes up. You're starting to show history. You're showing these big freaking payments to your line of credit. That's going to look really good to the banks, right? And you keep doing that for about 6 to 9 months. And after you zero your chunk out, apply for an increase, right? You just keep doing it every single time. Give you an example. I literally called 3 of my credit cards this week. Called my Bank of America, which has a $9,000 credit limit on it, just raised it to $12K. Simple increase. Then my American Express card, I increased that by $1,000. Another credit card, I increased it by $1,000. And then I'm working on another credit card, gonna increase that by $1,000 as well. The reason why you wanna continue to increase your credit lines as you make more and more chunks towards debt is it looks like your utilization won't be that high, right? So if you've got all this credit availability and you're only chunking this, I mean, you're good, right? So it'll never really look like you're, what should I say? It'll never really look like you're in a lot of debt because you're using this one line of credit, let's say for like 20,000, and then you've got 4 other credit cards that you increase the credit limit on by a couple of thousand, and it kind of offsets your overall utilization as you're doing velocity banking. So that's another really cool tip to do there. Hello, Lloyd. Gina, this isn't about Plastiq, but if you have debts that are at 0%, does it make sense to chunk at them with a line of credit at 15%? Okay. For the most part, if I have a debt that's at 0%, it's most likely going to be a credit card, right? For the most part. So, what we would look at is we would look at all of your debts, and we would say, okay, we've got this, maybe this furniture card and this other card at 0%, and you're just paying the minimum payments right now. What we can do is maybe we can make a chunk payment at your mortgage, something that does have interest, or your car, or your student loans. Maybe we don't pay it off, but we throw a chunk at it. We do velocity banking. We do the math where we zero out that line of credit before the interest rate expires on those specific debts that you have. Right before it expires, what do you think we're going to do? We're going to go ahead and chunk at that, wipe it out, get the cash flow, right? Do velocity banking, zero it out, and then get started on those other debts that you have, whether it be like a mortgage or a car note or some sort. Let's see. Jesus, would you ever consider helping people by adding them as authorized users to your credit card for a fee? Me personally, how's that? I'm not too familiar with that. So I don't even know if you can do that. Is that allowed? Is that allowed? So let's take me for example. Let's say I've got spick and span, right? Like my credit score is solid, right? Let's say I've got over 400,000 or 500,000 in available credit, and you're telling me that as an authorized user, so this person whom I don't know, right, would come onto my account as an authorized user, and they have access to that line of credit, whether it's a big or small, whatever it is. And you're telling me that I would charge them a fee to use my credit so that they can do velocity banking? I don't know, man. That's a tough one. I was raised in my household, don't ever cosign. Even if it's your own family. Like, that's how I was raised. Don't cosign for anyone. Is this the same thing? Being an authorized user, is that co-signing? So if they you know, I mean, it sounds like there's a risk there. I mean, I'm sure you mean well. I'm sure people, you said a lot of other YouTubers do it. You say I keep the card, but I mean, I don't know. Who's got some, this is interesting. This is interesting. Who's got some comments on this? Let me read. Let's see. What would you do if an employer misuse your credit information, like say purchase work vehicles with your credit? That's not fair. You're in trouble. You're gonna have to explain that one. Ellie says, I recently used Plastiq to pay off car loan only after closing date on card. Cool. Manny says, do you prefer paying expenses as they're due or put on credit cards so that you are only paying them once a month. Thanks. Got approved for a Navy Federal HELOC, 6.49%, 55K, only 625 credit score. Nice, nice. I like it, I like it. I would say that if you're using, for you, Manny, if you're using a HELOC and the credit card at the same time, then you would only pay the credit card on the due date. And you would only pay the statement balance, right? So you're going to be using the credit card, right? Well, step 1, you make your chunk from the HELOC. Step 2, dump all income into the HELOC. Step 3, use your credit card to run whatever expenses you can on the credit card. Let that debt sit there up until the due date. Then you pull from the HELOC and you either you pay off the credit card in full or you just pay the statement balance, either or. That's how I do it. That's exactly how I do it now. Let's see, Jesus says, no, they don't do velocity banking with your card. You just help their credit score. Okay, Jesus, do they have access to my stuff? Like, can they run my credit as an authorized user? Or is it the other way around? Meaning, like, they come onto my account, right, as an authorized user, but they can't use anything. I'd rather that. I'd rather someone just say, hey, Denzel, you have amazing freaking credit. You've got all this credit history, right? And I want to piggyback on your credit. I want to piggyback and have all that history show on my credit. If that's the case, I would be totally fine with that, because I know that they can't touch my credit, number 1, and they don't have access to my credit lines, number 2. So I don't give access to my own family to use my credit. No, no, no. No, no, no. If you need money, let's write a contract. Do a loan. Here's money. Here's the monthly payment back to me, interest or no interest. That's the contract. That's it. You know, that's how I would do it. But if you're telling me, because authorized user is someone that can use my damn credit or my credit lines, and I'm not with that. I don't know who would agree to that. I mean, that sounds wild. Any Joe Schmo could get access to my credit and run it up. And then they'll say, oh no, he gave me authorized what? User. I'm an authorized user, so I can use it. It didn't say I have to pay it back, because Denzel's the one that's responsible for it. So I hope it's the other way around, Jesus, that it's not, that they don't come onto my account. They just piggyback on all my good credit history. And then it kind of sits on their report for a couple of months. And then they go apply for something themselves. And then they go get a line of credit. And then they're good. I'm sure people do that all day long. If I'm not mistaken, I think VIP Financial has done some videos on that before. And that's pretty interesting. I wonder if they charge a fee for you to tag on someone's like really good credit. We'll see. We've got some people, John, saying LMAO, don't do it. I'm like the same way. Darn, you answered my question when you said cosign. Navy Federal HELOC approved and funded in 2 weeks. Great, great, great. Gina says it's a credit repair scam. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not with it. Guys, it is not that hard to repair and rebuild credit if you just do a little bit of research, kind of like you did a little bit of research on velocity banking and made your way to me. It's the same way. You know, so many people on this channel in the comments are complaining about not getting line of credit or HELOC getting denied. I'm like, okay, it's not the end of the world. Take 6 months, take your cash flow and invest in credit repair for 6 months. Pay someone, right? Whether you know someone or you do a little research and you find someone that you like, that you know, like, and trust, that you feel a connection with, and they have the knowledge, my advice is don't pay someone that sells credit repair. Pay someone that does credit repair. If you pay someone that does credit repair, I think that's going to go a lot further than someone that sells credit repair, because they're just going to sell you a little program. They say, okay, do this and this and this. And you and I both know that without accountability, no one does anything really fast on their own. So, you know, it's best to work with someone that's like a teacher. They teach it and they do it, right? They're proof. They're their own customer, so to speak. Okay, John, he's saying he's just on your credit as you're making your payments on your debts to help him build his own credit, and he will pay you a fee, I think. Yeah, that right there, John, is cool. I wouldn't mind doing that. Now, my question is that allowed? That I charge someone? Like, is there some sort of, you know, I'm assuming I gotta have something in place, some sort of general liability or some, I don't know. That sounds iffy because we're talking about a financial product. So, I don't know. Let's see. If you max out the account, they take a hit along with you. They do critical. Let's see. Authorized users come to, okay. Yeah, they don't have, okay, cool. What does my debt to income ratio need to be approved for a personal line of credit? Gee, I don't know. Call the bank and ask. Done. Because different banks are going to have different requirements. Capital One allows you to add anyone to accounts for free. You can put multiple authorized users on one card. Interesting. Interesting. Let's see. Do you have a video on building secured, unsecured lines of credit with Velocity banking paychecks onto a card? Yeah, a lot of videos. A lot. I got a whole thing, whole playlist, all about the line of credit. Watch it, okay? Or hire me and skip through the whole process. If you're like, you know, anxious, you can't sit still. Let's see. Fix my own credit back in the day using credit boards. It's just knowing some laws and writing letters. Lexington law is trash. Trust me. Interesting. I have no idea who Lexington law is. I'm assuming they're like a sky blue, right? Like blue. Oh no, blue sky credit repair or something like that. Are they like them? Or like a debt relief program or something like that? Yeah, you're better off working with like a network marketing company that does credit repair. One of those network marketing companies. They charge you like $20, $30, something cheap to do credit repair, and they walk you through it. Better off doing that or hiring someone individually to fix your credit. Let's see. I would only use authorized users with credit cards because you can keep the cards. And not sure how it would play out with a line of credit. Yeah. Okay. I think we're good. I think this is a good video. I think this will go in the books. You know, in terms of velocity banking with Plastiq, we went over authorized users. We went over some questions. Went over my program. And I want to wish you guys a wonderful day. God bless you guys. I think everyone is doing really good work. It was only a year ago that I didn't exist, and now I've got this whole platform that I come on every day, and now I'm looking at getting an office space. I can't wait because, you know, the videos are going to be a little more high quality. I'll be like, whoa, what's up? What's up? How you guys doing? All right. So we're going to close it out here. I don't think there's any more questions. I think I got to everyone. Have a wonderful day.